Welcome all to the weekly outlook. Boone here from EWPRO. Starting off with this week's weekly outlook, we're going to take a look at the DXY on the daily. Nothing's changed on the daily. We're looking for this A, B, C, possibly down to this 100 pip. On the H4, we are starting to get a motive structure down now. I'm looking at a 1, 2, 3. I'll be waiting for a wave 4 and then looking to sell that wave 5. And that's pretty much it. At this stage, I would be waiting for this X2 correction and then looking to sell. Yeah, that's the safest way. AU on the daily, nothing's changed on this either. You know, we've been looking for this wave C up for a long time. It was starting to get that up to this 100 fib, and the second target's at 161.8. H4, sort of looking for a flat here, like we get an A. I'm looking at this as a B wave, and we get a C down in here, and then either turns motive or we just get a C up. It has gone a bit further from Friday, but that's fine. We got all this bearish divergence, and that's why I'm sort of starting to look for this flat. This is quite impulsive. We've got 1, 2, 3 up now with the bearish divergence. You know, if you got a nice impulse down and a sell setup, you know, we may get like 5 down in here in this to finish off this B wave. And then, you know, if you got a buy setup, you look for the buy for the larger C up, or it can turn motive, like I said, and hit that daily target, the 100 pip. So that's pretty much the strategy I'm using, or analysis I'm using. Looking for a sell down in here and then look for the buy. GU on the daily, this one was a lot more difficult because the way I was looking at it as an A, B, C, that was fine. It bounced clean off that trend line and we got a nice bounce down. So any sells from that, you know, you would have done okay. But there is this other scenario, you know, whereas, you know, we get an A, all this is a B, and we get that C up, like I've been mentioning these two scenarios. We were looking in here is if this is corrective. If this is corrective, well, then we can look for the sell. And this was very messy in here. This was quite difficult to trade. It didn't really give a nice correction to get in. On the H4, we got that 1, 2, 3. I was looking for that 5th one down. That never happened, and it's gone too far now. So I dare say on the daily, you know, this is a larger flat. This is a larger flat, and we get that C up. On the H1, we had the 5 up. Got that 1, 2, 3, 4. Had that bull hidden there. We're looking for that wave 5. We got that. We lost the divergence in here. So I was just looking for like a larger correction than this and this over here. And I'm still looking at that, but like an A, a B, and we get a C in here, like as a larger flat. I need some sort of a correction to buy. We got way too much bearish divergence to, you know, for me to be scalping up here. I'd really like to see a move down in here and then a buy setup, and then I can look for another 5 up. EU looks quite nice. You know, this is pretty much playing out as planned. We're looking at that A, B, C up to that 100 pip, or second target's at 161.8. The H4, like I said last week, this is looking very motive. You know, we got a WX. We're in a wave Y. Look for the X2, and then a Z up. So we'll be waiting for this X2 now. On the H4, on the H1, we are getting that like wave Z up. We got this like 1, 2, 3, 4. We're getting this fifth one up. You know, we've already broken the ending point of wave Y, so it can finish at any time. This in here, you know, if you're looking for scalps, you know, you'll have to start to be careful, because we will start to get bearish divergence. I mean, if you're going down onto the lower time frame, you know, you may be getting scalps in here as like an A, B. You get a C in here like as a running or expanding flat, and then you could look for another one up. You know, it's really just scalping, and then scalping at the top of the market. Ideally, the safest way is to wait for this wave to be over, and then wait for that X2, and then start looking for your buys again. NU on the daily, I mean, nothing's changed on this here either. Looks like my arrow's gone, but the fib's still there, so that's all right. We're looking at that A, B, C, up to the 100 fib and 161.8 as a second target. The H4 was quite difficult. It was virtually the same as EU. You know, we got that 1, 2, 3, 4. We had that bull hidden here, so we're looking for that to break the top. It's broken the top. Now it's giving some sort of a larger correction in here. I dare say, you know, we'll get a larger correction in here after the 5 up, and then we'll get another 5 up. So, you know, I'd sort of be very cautious buying up here until we get that C down. Like on the H1, we got the 5 up. Impulse down, we're getting 1. You know, I'd be looking for some sort of a flat, and then get an A, B, C as some sort of a larger correction, and then start looking for the buys again for, you know, another 5 up. You can see how much bearish divergence you got here. So, you know, to scalp up here becomes very risky. And I'll show you one of my live trades soon on the gold, showing you how I manage the trades. But yeah, we'll get to that. GY, you know, this is playing out ideally how we've been looking at it. We're looking at that WX extended wave Y, then we'll be looking for that X2 and a Z up. This extended wave Y, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We're getting that fifth wave. It's nearly up to that 123.6, or it may have even hit it. And then we get that 161.8 as your second target. So again, the safest way now, because this is already gone, you know, the safest way now is to wait for this X2, and then look for that wave Z up. On the H4, we're waiting for this correction. Now, I mean, I was looking for a bit larger correction, but we got 1, 2, 3. We got a bull hidden here, like I mentioned last week, and this has gone up and broken that top. You know, we could look at it as some sort of a flat in here, you know, similar size to that. So that's fine. So this, we are starting to get that bearish divergence, and we are very close to that 123.6 on the daily. So does get quite difficult to trade now. The H1, we're getting all the bearish divergence as well. And I dare say on the lower time frames, you know, for the sell, I mean, there is no sell on it. But, you know, for a buy, you'd really want to see a nice corrective structure before you started to look for buys again. Ideally, you'd be waiting for that daily X2, and then start to look for buys again. UY on the daily. So we're looking for this C down in here. We're looking at an A, B, C as a regular flat. This is the top here. This never broke this top over here. So just be looking for a regular flat just to go and break that low. And then, you know, any buy setup, you know, you start to load up again. On the H4, well, it's more on the H1, but even on the H4, you can see here, we've got a bear hidden here. So, you know, if you're looking for buy, you have to be really careful. It's more on the H1. We got this like 1, 2, 3, 4. We got this bear hidden here. This may, you know, give us another top, but any sell setup you get, you definitely could look for it for that wave Z down. Yeah, we do have that bear hidden. I can't go into exactly how we trade these bear hiddens on here, but yeah. The CAD, you know, this is really tricky. You know, it hasn't played nicely. We're looking at that 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking for that fifth wave up to these targets is 123.6 and the 161.8. It still hasn't broken above this wave Y. So it becomes quite risky. You know, I personally would be staying out of this altogether because there is this wave Z hadn't finished, and you know, it started off nice on the H4. We got that 5 up. We got that impulse down, and I was just looking for 3 up here and then another impulse down as our larger correction, and then we could load up for another 5. That didn't happen. Instead, we got like this A, and A, B, C. We got that C up. And now we're looking for this A, B, C as our larger correction after the 5 up. So once this is finished in here, well, in here actually, because this is the flat here, you know, this is the A, B, C, and then we get that C up. This C up here broke the ending point of wave A, so that's complete, like I've mentioned, well, the last week or the week before. But so we're waiting for this in here as like an A, B, C as a flat, and then we can start to load up, you know, on buys again. We're getting all this bullish divergence on the H4. You know, I don't really believe this is over, but it may turn even more complex as like we were looking for this down, you know, to go and break that low. It didn't break the low, like I said last week. It hadn't broken that low, so I said just stay out of it, you know, because we're looking for this low to be broken. Now it's broken, but it's broken it in like 3 waves. So this can become an even larger flat in here as well as an A, B, C, you know, and then you get like an A, B, C, or WXY, X2, and a Z down, you know, a 5 down. For the buy, you know, you really need to break above this top here, give you a nice impulse and a correction, and then you can look for a buy. For the sells, I wouldn't really go selling it now because we've just broken that low. We've got all this bullish divergence, so it does become tricky. The Swissy on the daily, you know, nothing's changed on this. We got the 3 down with bullish divergence, nice impulse up, and if I just scroll out a bit so you can see a bit easier. So you can see what sort of correction I'm looking at. I'm looking at some sort of an A, B, C after this impulse. And then we start to look for buys again. On the H4, you can see, you know, you can see what I'm looking at. I had this on there from last week. So I'm looking for this internal C up in here, all this C up as an A, B, C, and then we'll be looking for a larger C down. Is there any setups on it? We do have all this bullish divergence here now on the H1. So I definitely wouldn't be looking for sells. Instead, I would be looking for an impulse up, correction, and I'd be looking for 5 up in here before we get the larger one down. EG on the daily. So this is pretty much playing out how as expected. We're looking at that A, B, extended wave C. We've got this 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking for this 5th down. It may get down to this 100 pip. Ideally, it breaks the low. On the H4, you can only sell this now. Like I said last week, I definitely wouldn't be looking for buys. We've got all that bearish divergence. Now we have it like a trend line break, and if you get a correction in here, you can look for 5 down. Just wait for this correction and a setup, and you can look for the sell. You'll have to be patient trading it. WTI, this has come back a little bit further than I would have liked. I'm looking for this. We got the impulse up. We're sort of getting 5 down in here. I dare say we'll get 5 down. This correction here is deep to this impulse. So I'm just sort of looking for an A, B, C at this stage. Excuse me. On the H4, you can see nothing's changed since last week. I said, we're looking for an X2, and then you can look for a wave Z down. Said it can be very choppy in here until we get that wave Z down. On the H1, there really isn't much. I try to buy on it Friday on the lower time frames. It started to go and then come down, take me out break even. So that's fine. But yeah, it's quite risky. Like I said to the people in the group, if you're going to trade this to buy in here, you have to be very careful because we do have a bear hidden here. It hadn't gone and broken the low. But yeah, at this stage, it's sort of got 3 down. You can get 4 and a 5th one down in here, and it turns into a flat before you get like more downside. So yeah, you will have to be quite careful with WTI at this stage. I mean, I'm only looking for buys, in this X2. They're really just scalps. You're just pretty much scalping, and you really have to get them to break even because, when you're trading corrections, you got to be really on the ball. Yeah. Gold. So we got this 3 down in here. We got a nice impulse up. I'm waiting for some sort of a correction in here, and as you can see, I'm looking at some sort of a flat in there, possible flat. If I go down to the lower time frame, you can see what I'm looking at. We sort of got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down in here. 1, 2, 3 up. So I'm looking for a possible 5 down in here in this C wave, and then any buy setup I get, I can load up. First targeting that 100 pip on the H4. So yeah, this is where it gets interesting. Like I mentioned last week, I'm in a trade down here, and I'll show you that live trade and how I manage it. This in here, we had a bull hidden. So, I didn't get out of this trade when we got this down here because we're getting that bull hidden, so I kept it. And now, this was starting to look corrective in here, and I'm looking for like 5 down in here to finish off that C wave. So I'll show you my live trade. This is on gold. on the H1 chart, this is my entry here. And you can see that I've put my floating stop loss up here, just under this low. I've actually changed it to under here because that top there got broken. So I've actually moved this since I took this screenshot. But this is how I managed the trade. You know, got that up there. So you take half off and you keep the other half, because these can keep on going. You know, we're expecting a correction, but it doesn't always happen. You know, if it comes down, takes me stop out, well, then I've got two options. I can either look for the sell or wait for a larger correction and buy again. So this is basically what I teach in my group, how to manage these trades and get the most out of your trades, you know, instead of just scalping 10, 20 pips here. I mean, this is like from my entry here and to this floating stop loss, that's 410 pips. So, you know, in like say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trading days, 410 pips just on that pair. So getting back to the chart, so yeah, that's how I manage these trades, because you know I am sort of looking for 5 down in here, so I want to protect that position. Yeah, and get the most out of it. Silver's mainly on the H4. Like, we got those 5 up, and then we got a WXY on the daily, and we're getting like 3 up in here on the H4, like I've mentioned. And this is pretty much playing out how we've been looking at it, you know. We got this A, B, C in here, and then we get an A, B, C. We're looking for that 100 pip second target. I mean, this was quite hard, you know, to get in. Again, you know, it wasn't giving a very nice setup on the lower time frames, but yeah, that's why you want to get in down here somewhere and just hold it like I did on gold. You know, you just hold it and you get these higher highs. Now to get on it, it's really going to be difficult. I mean, you'd be going right down onto the lower time frames. You'd be looking for a little correction in here. It's scalping. You're just scalping up to that H4 100 pip. Bitcoin, I'll just go on this last section here. There's really nothing on the daily. We just got a nice impulse up. It's mainly on the H4. You know, we had those 5 up. We had that like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. Now it's giving like an A, B, C, and another one up. It's sort of like gold, you know, or silver. We get, even though it's complete and we got the 5 up, it gives another correction and breaks a high again. And this can happen, keep on happening for a very long time. And that's why you just manage your trades and just keep on putting you know, just adjusting it under the lows, and that's how you get the most out of your trades. And that's what I teach in my group. You know, I don't teach how to just like scalp a few pips. You're wasting your time if you're doing that. You know, you're not. I don't call it trading. It's more scalping. Yeah, and it's a lot more dangerous than trading. You know, trading the waves. That's what you want to do. You want to trade these, get onto these wave Ys. Yeah, and I'll show you how to do that in the group. Now, you know, on Bitcoin here, we get all this bearish divergence, so it becomes very risky until we get some sort of a larger correction. And we're looking for a larger correction than this over here, wherever this wave Z ends. And we're looking for a large correction, and then you can buy again. Until that really happens, I would be staying out of it unless you're looking for a sell. If you're looking for a sell, well, you'd be going right down onto the lower time frames, looking for an impulse and correction, and you know, looking for 5 down. S&P, I'm on this one as well. Like I mentioned last week, this is my trade here. It's at break even. This is live trades. I show a lot of my trades in the group. Like, I practice what I preach. This trade here doesn't look like much. This is on the H4 chart, but this is 1,410 pips. Up to where it was up here to my entry. 1,410 pips in like 1-2 weeks. And that's just two trades, the gold and the S&P. I've taken a lot more trades than that as well, and I'm still in other trades as well. But this is sort of what I teach you. You keep the trade. You keep half of the trade, and you get the most out of your trading, and it's a lot less stressful. On the H4, on the daily, this is playing out exactly how we've been looking at it for a very long time. We got this like W, X, Y, X2, and we're getting this wave Z up. These are the targets, the 123.6 and the 161.8 for that wave Z. I am sort of waiting for a correction, like on the H4, not on the daily, just on the H4, to add. You can see, even on the H4, it's just one wave up. It's on the H1 is where, this is going sideways here. It can give another one up, and it can go sideways again, give another one up, and it can do that for a very long time. But do you want to trade these? Because, we're getting a lot of bearish divergence here. You're better off to wait for all this to be over, get a nice correction, and then start to load up on your buys again. That's the safest way to trade, instead of scalping, all this stuff up here, because what happens is, all that happens, it goes sideways, gives you an impulse up, and then comes back down, and then goes sideways again, gives you another impulse. So it's taking you out every single time, unless you're just scalping. And that's what I mean. You basically just have to scalp, a few pips. S&P is a big mover. Like I said, on my trade, it's 1,400 pips. So yeah, it is a big mover, and that's another thing I teach in my group, how to trade these big movers. AU 200, nothing's changed on this either. We're looking at that A, B, C up to this 100 bib on the daily. On the H4, it's starting. This is looking bullish again. We had that nice impulse up, broke the trend line, so we're looking for a correction to trade that up. We got another one up, and we got an ABC. We're getting an ABC down here, and this may turn into a larger correction in here, and you'd be looking for another buy. We do have the bearish divergence. That's the only problem with this one now. We did get that cross down on the MACD. This is still looking very much bullish though. On the H1, we got like 1, 2, 3 down with the bullish divergence. So it didn't give us a nice impulse up and correction to buy. But yeah, I'd be looking for the buys. The FTSE, yeah, so this one was real tricky. All this looks corrective. Well, it is all corrective to this wave here. So, it was very difficult. 1, 2, 3 down. This one didn't go up to the 100 fib, and it sort of, I dare say, like, I can't remember exactly what I said last week, but we got this line on here, so I dare say we're looking bearish. And it still does. Like, we got 1, 2, 3. This is looking bearish for another one down. But in here on the lower time frames, it looks like you're getting a buy setup. So, you know, you could scalp that buy there, and it may go for you. But yeah, I'd be moving it to break even as soon as that top. If you're taking this in here, moving it to break even as soon as this top here is broken, because it can just break that top and then give you another one down. But if it gives you like the 5 down, then any bullish setup you get, you know, then you can start to be more confident in the buy. The DAX on the daily. So it looks like this one's really taken off too. Yeah, we're gonna have to be careful here. You know, we do have a bear hidden there, you know, from the top. You know, like I've mentioned many times on this pair, I would have liked to see this C wave. Like, we're looking at an A, B, C. We got this C down in here, but I would have really liked to have gone a bit further. So it has made it quite difficult. You know, would have liked a little bit more downside on it. You can only buy this. You know, you can only buy this. You're waiting for a correction. You got a nice impulse up. You know, wait for your correction, possibly back to the 50 fib of this move here, around here somewhere, and then you can load up. You know, but you got to wait for the correction. Scalping up here, you'll get burnt. Eventually, you'll get burnt. Looks like on the on the H1, we're still in this wave Y. It may have ended here. But we get like a WXY, and you may be getting A, B, C in here as some sort of a flat, and then you could look for the wave Z up. You'd really want this one down in here, and then a buy set up on the lower time frames to buy. I might just go down to the lower time frame, see what's happening. Yeah. As expected, we're getting a lot of bearish divergence here. You know, definitely wait for an A. Look at all this as a B, and you get a C down in here, sharp move down, and then if you start getting bullish setups, you know, look for that wave Z up. That's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook and got something out of it. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.